Hello guys, welcome to Programming with Asan. Today we are going to discuss about data types in Python. There are several data types in Python, namely numeric, string, list, tuple, range, set, Boolean, mapping, and binary. Let's go through one by one. There are three types of numeric data named integer, float, and complex. Let's first discuss about integer, which are of course without decimal. Let's assign a number without decimal. We can assign a variable like how we check that type? We should use type function, right? So we got our first variable is of integer type. Next we assign a value with a decimal point. Let's see what happens. Let's check the type again. This is a float type. Next let's check about the complex type of data. We know that the complex numbers come with two parts. Those are real and imaginary part and come in a format of a plus bi, where a and b are real numbers like integer or float. When the b is multiplied by I, then bi becomes imaginary part of that complex number, and the I is square root of -1. In Python, we replace the I with j, and the format is a plus bj. Well, how we assign a complex number in Python? Let's check with two variables. Now check the types of this variable. We got the types are both complex. How about the values? We got the values. By the way, you can get the values of multiple variables at a time by using comma separators, as I passed here. Or if you are using any other editor like PyCharm, you can use print function like this. You got the values. We can assign the complex values by complex function as well, with arguments of real part and real number of imaginary part. We can assign a variable. Let's check the value. Fifth numeric, we got a complex value, right? Now let's talk about sequence data type. Sequence data type are list, tuple, and range. Another sequence data type is text sequence data type. At first, we go to the text sequence data type. Actually, those are strings. You have seen it before. Generally, we store string data inside single quotations or double quotations, like below two variables. So we get here two strings. One is I love and another is Python. And the first one is with double quotations and the second one is single quotations. Now let's check list data type. Lists are a sequence of data where the elements are separated by comma and written within square braces, like my list. So here is our list called my list. You can check the value my underscore list. Yes, we got the values. And if we want to check the type of this variable, so the type is of list. If we want to get the elements of a list, use index starting from 0. So if we want to get the third element, we can write. So we got 6. After list, next sequence data type is tuple. As like lists, tuples are sequence of data where the elements are separated by comma, but in a round basis, not a square basis. So we can declare a variable, a tuple variable, my tuple, So here is our tuple. We can check the value my tuple and also the type. So my tuple is of tuple type. Again, as like list, we can access the elements of tuple by passing through index number. So here we can get the third element, that is here is programming, with the index number 2, right? So we got the third element, right? Another sequence data type in Python is range. Range are of immutable data type and used mostly for looping or iteration purpose. Syntax of range is, I can write range, start, stop, and step. Here, start is optional, default is 0. Then stop is required, this is mandatory, but it is not included in the elements. And finally, step argument is used for the increments. The default value is 1. And all the 3 arguments are of integer type. Now let's quickly assign 3 variables with range. Here 10 is the start value and 20 is the end value. Here the 0 is the start value, 20 is the stop value, and 3 is the increment value. Let's check the elements of range R1. Range underscore R1, range 0 to 20. But what are the values? Well, to see the data of a range, you have to pass through a for loop. We have not yet covered the for loop, so we can use another process. Here we can pass the data in a list and check the data of that list, kinda indirectly. So we can write here list and pass range 1, range R1. We got the value from 0 to 19. Again, we can check the elements of range underscore R3 passing through list. We got 0, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and 18. So the increments are 3. Now let's talk about sets. Unlike list and tuples, sets are sequence of data where the elements are grouped within curly braces, like my set and check the elements of my set, my underscore set. So we should also remember that sets are immutable. Also, sets are unordered. We cannot access elements of sets by index number. Finally, the sets cannot store elements of same value. Let's check, does it actually take index value? You see, it's an error. Set object is not subscriptable. Sets are mutable, so we can add elements within the set. Adding elements, we can write my set dot add. We have 5 in our third element of my set, and we want to add another 5. We hit enter, no error shows. So does it actually take the value 5? Let's check my underscore set. See, it didn't take the next 5. So the sets cannot store element of same value. As I said, we cannot get the elements of set by index value, but we can check if a value is existing in a set. For that, we should use in operator. So how can we check that? We see here in our set, we have a value 6. To check that, if it is exist in my set, we write 6 in my set, gives us the result true. Let's check another value like 7. We see that 7 is not in our set. We can check that through in operator, 7 in my underscore set. This is false. 7 is not in our set. Well, now comes the mapping type of data. Python has only one type, we call it dictionary. Dictionary is mutable. Dictionary comes with key value pair. Dictionaries are not indexed by numbers, rather these are indexed by keys. With every key we have associated value. In Python, dictionary represents the implementation of hash table. Let's assign a variable of dictionary type. Dictionary start with curly braces. Then we should pass a key. Here we can pass a, then a colon, then the value is apple, then another key b, then colon, the value is banana, and the last one o, and the value is orange. Here is our food dictionary. We check the elements of our dictionary. Please note that dictionaries are mutable, but their keys are immutable. So the keys should be of any immutable data type. Again, as dictionaries are indexed by keys, we cannot assign same key more than once. So here we have already used a as a key. We cannot use another a for another key value pair, right? Now let's talk about Boolean data type. We call it bool. Bool types can only have two values. Those are true or false. Here are a few cases in which Python bool's method return false. Except these, all other values return true. What are the cases we get false? Firstly, we can say that if we pass 0 in any numeric type, such as we can write here 0 or floating point type 0.0 or complex 0 plus 0j. If we pass any of them, bool function will return false. Let's check. Next, if we pass any false value, it will also give us false. That means if we pass 4 is greater than 5, we know that 4 is not greater than 5, so it is a false value. What it can return? It will return false, right? Yes, it is. It returns false. Again, if we pass none in bool function, it will also give us false. Check that. Bool none. So again false. Next, if we pass an empty sequence, range, or mapping, the bool method will return false. Let's check. Bool, we pass an empty list here. It gives false. Again, an empty tuple is false. Again, an empty dictionary, it gives false. Again, an empty set. Well, we have used curly braces for dictionary. For set, we can use set function. Set 0. Sorry, we are talking about empty set, right? We should not pass 0. Bool set empty set. This is false, right? Again, if we pass dunder bool or dunder len method of a class which returns 0 or false value, it will give false output. We have not yet learned about the classes, So we will discuss this while we were learning the classes, right? So we will leave it for now. Last but not the least, there are another data types called binary sequence types, and those are bytes, byte array, and memory view. Let's check how we can assign a bytes type of variable. We can write my bytes equal bytes. We type here a string, Python programming, and then we should write a encoding format. I pass here UTF-8. I hit enter. Sorry, I got a typo here. That means an string argument and an encoding format. We can check the value here, my bytes. We see here there is a B in the beginning of this string. This B indicates that it is a bytes type. We can convert the bytes into a string by decoding. How we can decode? We can write my string equals my underscore bytes dot decode and hit enter. Check the value, my string. There is no B in the beginning. That means it is a string. Can you check that? Yes, it is of string type. We leave byte array and memory view for later video as those are of some intermediate level topics. Well, this is all from today's tutorial. Hope you like this video and hit the thumbs up. If you want to get more videos like this, please subscribe this channel and hit the bell icon. Hope you see you in next tutorial. Till then, stay safe and keep practicing. Goodbye, and as always, thank you for watching.